At some point, you gotta decide for yourself who you gonna be. Can't let nobody make that decision for you.
I love everything. Fire spreading all around my room. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Circle Club show. As you can see, our esteemed guest, Hannah Dubin, is here. Oh, this way, Hannah Dubin is here. We also have Matt. A lot of people in the chat today. What's up? What's up, everyone? Who we got here?
Hello.
Gilly, Steph Cochran, Will Mill, Carly with the K, Miss Talia. How you doing, Hannah?
I'm good.
I'm good. We're wrapping up the week.
Just got my
nails done. We're just prepping for a good weekend.
Do you mind showing the nails off to the audience?
Sure.
What color? Ooh, beautiful.
That's a nice gloss.
So
we just went with something
basic. Just
touched it up
a little bit.
There you go.
Sounds like
I'm echoing. Okay.
Hold on, let me fix that.
Oh boy.
All right, Hannah, say something real quick.
Hello.
You weren't really echoing for me at first, so. Here we go. Okay, there you go. We're all set. You just mentioned to us that you are our first LGBTQ plus member. Truly an honor. I have to say, this is our 24th show, and we haven't had a guest of your community on, and for that,
it's a little homophobic. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Exactly, it is. But I want it on record. I want it on record.
But
say that again, Matt.
I said I've been vouching for it for some time, but due to scheduling conflicts and stuff,
I do want to say Matt and I have made out, so I mean
that is
good.
Fair.
Good. That's what I like to hear.
Happy Earth Day, everyone. I got a couple facts for you here. Maybe you guys didn't know this. Number one, Earth's core is as hot as the sun's surface. Number two, Earth is radioactive. Number three, there is life below the seafloor. Number four, that was three. Number four, clouds help regulate the Earth's temperature. Number five, the planet is 10,000 times older than humans. Number six, we don't know.
Excuse me, I'm getting ice cream delivered. Apologies.
Oh my God, it's Rich. Say hello to Rich. Oh my God, love him.
Crazy.
Wow.
Matt, why didn't you tell him to say hello?
Because the audio conflict, you can't hear. We tried this with Lauren last week.
The famous
it was
Rich.
A nightmare.
Oh my God, I'm jealous.
They want to know what flavor, Matt.
DoorDash is just getting more and more intrusive these days, I will say. But I'm currently going with vanilla soft serve with a cherry.
Sherbet?
No, not a sherbet, but a cherry like I'm nervous. I got stage fright now. It's one of those shells. It's a cherry shell.
Matt,
put the
come on.
syrup
You're in
it
your
the hardest.
bedroom. I know stage fright doesn't happen that often in there.
Oh God.
All right, number
Christ,
7.
continue.
Route 66 is longer than the distance of the Earth's core. A magnitude 12 earthquake would split the Earth in half, and the record we've had so far is 9.5. Number 9,
concerningly close.
The first ozone hole is still healing, and it was from 1985. So that just lets you know, climate change sticks around. I was
waiting for you to say. I was waiting for the first fact. Like, I don't know if you guys know, but fact number 1: the Earth is dying.
Number 10: the Earth isn't exactly round, but it's also not flat. Number 11: days are longer. Number 12: there are more viruses than there are stars in the universe, and that is the 12 Earth Day facts. I thought that last one was kind of hard to believe, but here we are.
Oh, with all the mutations of COVID, who knows?
Right.
Are you guys both vaccinated?
I got my first dose on Monday, and my arm is feeling better now.
Good.
So.
Very good. You know me, I'm kind of a hipster in this way, in a lot of ways, but I was the first to get the vaccine, so.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Because you worked in healthcare, correct?
Yeah. So I've had it since December.
Damn, what'd you get? Pfizer, Moderna, AstraZeneca?
Pfizer.
You know, I had it at work, and I got my shot. I went right back to work.
Damn, essential worker, as Talia's saying in the chat, all caps.
Yes.
Round of applause.
Pfizer gang, she says. Nah, we're about that Moderna over here. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I really about much. I just get vaccinated at this point. I don't fucking care what it is.
Moderna man. As long as it's not Johnson and Johnson.
Hey,
no.
Johnson,
that is actually factually incorrect. I think Johnson & Johnson's probably still safe, though. It was like, what, 7 cases of blood clots or something?
It was 7 cases out of like 7 million. Like, I was seeing on Twitter, people saying more people get blood clots from like birth control, and nobody gives a shit about that. So, if we're really going to talk about
more people
talk about problems in there
have
too.
Unprotected sex and get STDs.
Oh.
You don't think about it that way, Bub.
Is that an Earth Day fact too? Is that on the list?
It must be.
Viruses. Those are the viruses they're talking about. But today, as I said, we have, esteemed guest. Oh, wrong graphic. Esteemed guest, Hannah Dubin, and she is an aspiring model. Hannah, can you tell us a little bit about the industry? What
Sure.
A little bit about your ambitions, your goals. What are you doing to actually tackle that, and let us in from a view that we don't really, or perspective that we don't really get to see. I think a lot of people think models are like, oh, let me just post to Instagram and that's it. So, what are some of the things that people don't see behind the scene that make it difficult to try to become a model?
Well, I think the biggest thing for me right now is networking and, reaching out to local brands and photographers. So I'm building my network right now. I'm trying to do shoots basically every weekend, and that's what I've been doing.
How do you find those people?
I'll go to like networking events. That's how I met a couple photographers.
Nice.
And just some people that I knew from back in the day when I was modeling, like as a kid. So everyone basically that I know I've been reaching out to and kind of trying to get some advice and see where we can go.
Nice.
There you go.
And
yeah, they say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So
yeah, it's nice. I mean, so I am quitting one of my jobs, so I'll be part-time next week, and then I'll really be able to focus on it. It's something I've been wanting to do for a long time, so.
And you have a musical theater background as well. Like, would you ever consider jumping into like trying to act or do some things on screen?
I think that I'm not a great actor. I think that I could probably do better now because I think modeling is a lot of acting.
It is.
But
yeah.
the thing about modeling to me is like it's more me displaying myself. And I think acting is hard for me because I'm not a good liar either. Very honest person.
Yeah.
But modeling is just kind of like I get to be myself and express myself in like a fashion way too.
One of the questions someone had, and I have a follow-up, is what's your dream magazine cover? And do you have a favorite model?
I mean, Vogue, of course.
Vogue. Oh my God.
But,
yeah.
Of course. But
the most recent. What's the most recent Vogue cover that sticks in your head? The one that I can think of was the Zendaya one. I think that's because I was looking that up the other day with Talia, but
I'm thinking of the one, the magazine that Kylie always models for. What the hell is it called? It's
I'll
like
look it up.
It's very bright, and like kind of cartoony.
Mm.
I really like that magazine.
Oh, Glamour?
I don't know why. No, I don't know why I can't think of it right now.
CoverGirl?
No. I really like that one. My favorite model, her name on Instagram is Louis Vuitton Croc.
Okay. What do you like about her?
I don't know what her actual name is. She's just like she's my body type. I don't know, she's kind of just like not the kind of model that you usually see. Like she grows out her hair, like body hair, and she's just very androgynous, and I like that a lot.
So it's
Can you look her up? Yeah, I'll put her Instagram in the chat.
So is it more so that she's just like a relatable model? Is that something, being a woman, that you just like didn't see a lot of growing up, like models that were accessible? Because I don't know about you, Matt, but for me, like I feel like the traditional model that I don't currently think of, but like growing up would think of, would be these like really skinny, like Heidi Klum, Tyra Banks type of models that are almost like unattainable, you know?
Like Giselle and things like that. Yeah,
Right,
I was gonna follow up with that, Hannah, and ask, from like your point of view and the stuff that you've seen, how do you think accessibility is? How do you think like accessibility is really entering the model space now? Like in terms of the shift of body positivity that we've seen over the last couple of years.
Well, yeah. I actually went to a modeling agency when I was like 14, and they were not interested, basically because I was too short. And I've been talking to a lot of photographers about that too.
Yeah.
It seems like that's not that big of a deal anymore. And I think most brands are a lot more inclusive because they know that's what we want to see. So it hasn't really been that big of an issue for me so far.
That's good.
That's good. Yeah. I found that was something that for me, when I was trying to get into the acting space, that was something that I would have an issue with. It would be like very strange, where I'd be like, all right, you're too short for this role, you're too old for this role, you're too you're not old enough for a role. They would say things like, we're looking. I think the thing with acting, and there's kind of a similarity, I believe, with modeling, is they have this vision of who they want for the project, and sometimes they get so stuck in it that they don't think about, okay, how can I obtain what I'm trying to do, but like out of the box, or like not necessarily how I originally intended. It's like, I think about, like, let's see, what's a show that a lot of people know, like Schitt's Creek. Like, to me, his sister Alexis could easily be a black woman, and I think the role would still work. But it's like when they're going out, when it's going out and they're searching, they are like, all right, we're looking for this tall, like, white female, and they kind of get stuck on that idea. And to each their own. Like, if what you're intending to do is what you're intending to do. But I definitely agree with you. I feel like what they're trying to achieve can still get done. So
Yeah,
so
what
this
you
is the
could, what you
model.
could,
Oh, sorry, go ahead, Matt.
okay. I was gonna say what you could also argue is that where do people, in regards to the idea that you have in mind when seeing something, where do those ideas usually come from? They're influenced by things you've seen in the past, and as we can acknowledge, things we've seen in the past have tended to be like skinny, tall, blonde, white models. And if you kind of like continue down that road of like only propping up those type of people, you continuously influence the next line of people just only kind of seeing within that sphere. So allowing yourself to have more of a diverse palette will both creatively affect your work as well as creatively inspire those to come. So
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
Definitely.
and that's one of the reasons we wanted to have you on too, is because we kind of thought that you would really embody that, and you're someone who tries not to fall down a lane that like society tells you have to fall down, and you kind of go your own path. And what we want to do with the Circle Club is the same thing, where it's like, like for example, we talked about how we were going to do the Oscars each week, we're going to watch a movie, and then we started thinking about it, and we're like, it really, how many people are watching some of these Oscar movies? And it was like, it really isn't that big of a group of people, like I feel like there's this like group of people over here who think, this is the biggest thing in the world and these are the greatest films or whatever. But then I'm like, I don't, in the past couple of weeks, I haven't had too many conversations with people about that. I've had more conversations about Ginny and Georgia in the last month than I have about the Oscars. You know what I mean? So,
and then you look at the trending movies every weekend that the media sites put out, and it's nowhere close to that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Like later today, we're going to be talking about Falcon and Winter Soldier, and how many more people are watching that weekly than people are watching like Hank or some of the other films that have been brought up. So, same thing goes.
All right, so why don't we just jump into it? So, Uncle Lou's in the chat. What's up, Uncle Lou? How you doing, man? Thanks for showing up.
I just want to say I remembered the magazine.
Ah, okay. What's the magazine?
It's Paper magazine.
Paper.
Oh,
Paper.
Nice. Paper's had some great issues.
Yeah, they do some beautiful work. So today we're going to be talking about what are some movies and TV shows with the same plot. As you can see on there, there's a couple random selections that people have made, and I just kind of threw it on there. But so Hannah, you told me that some of these were your picks.
Yes.
What do you think? Go ahead.
No strings attached.
Yes.
Do you want me to start with that one?
Okay, sure.
Okay. So what came to my mind was No Strings Attached and Friends with Benefits, and I think that these two movies are so bizarre because they came out in the same year, and they have Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, who are now married.
Interesting.
And they were both in those different movies, which I find is so strange.
It's weird that they came out at the same time too.
Wait.
Exactly.
Who is in the was Jessica Biel in the other one?
And
no, it's
no. Wait,
it's
I'm
Natalie
sorry, which
Portman.
One? Yeah.
It's Natalie Portman. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
For a minute, I thought they literally switched partners, like future partners, and I was like, that would have been trippy as fuck.
That would have been weird. Yeah, no, those movies are basically the same thing. I remember when the advertisements were going on, I would get super confused. I'd be like, which one is which? Because they were just so similar, and I don't think I've seen. So I think I saw the one with Justin Timberlake. Which one is that? Is that Friends with Benefits?
Friends with Benefits, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other one's No Strings Attached.
Right.
So I felt like when it came out, I was like, I'm not gonna go see No Strings Attached because I feel like I've already seen the movie. And I know that's not fair, but which of those two do you think was the more successful one?
I think Friends with Benefits.
I agree.
In my opinion, yeah.
For someone who hasn't seen it, or like, which did you hear more about?
I heard more about No Strings Attached with Ashton Kutcher. I think it was mainly just like you were saying. It would be like a Saturday afternoon. I'd be a young lad, and then I'd be watching USA TV, and they just put the two ads for those movies back to back. and I'd like move my head too quickly and turn around and be like, suddenly Justin Timberlake becomes Ashton Kutcher, and I was like, wait, am I like remembering this right? So like while they kind of like overlapped a bit, I think that the name No Strings Attached just like kind of stuck. I think that's like a better title. So I think that kind of like made the connection for me. But I also thought that what's that thing? The Mandela Effect. I thought Mila Kunis was in No Strings Attached with Ashton Kutcher. So
for me,
yeah.
Friends with Benefits stuck more. It was in 2011. I was in high school, and that's kind of when I first started hearing that term a lot, like Friends with Benefits.
I was gonna say that,
and I was kind of like, oh, what is that? You know, obviously you're naive and young. You're like Friends with Benefits.
Like if that can work for him, maybe it can work for me.
Exactly.
I think that was the beginning of Tinder too.
Oh,
like that
really?
was right
Tinder
when
dated that back.
2011.
Yeah.
2011.
Yeah, definitely 2012. I'll look it up right now.
That's crazy.
So
Talia also said that the year before, Natalie and Mila Kunis were both in Black Swan as well. But I think I do think it's strange. We'll get into it after we discuss all of our picks. Why do studios do this, and what's the choice, what's the benefit? So you guys, we have that to look ahead to. But what were some of your other picks that you had on there, Hannah?
I had The Simpsons and Family Guy. I feel like this is a little controversial.
Okay, love it. Love to hear it.
But listen, the setup of these shows is exactly the same. Look at the family dynamic, like we all know. But when I think about those two shows, I just think about how I feel like every family kind of chose which show they would watch.
Yeah,
that's
like
true.
you can't watch both of them.
That's
you can't
true.
stand both of them.
That's true.
So my family was very much a Simpsons family, and we had to all hate Family Guy together.
That's hilarious. Yo, Soul, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Yeah, you so brave of you to say this. Honestly, so brave, so courageous. Someone give her the Medal of Freedom. Like it's so true. They had a crossover.
They did, yeah.
I never saw that. I would love to see that. But yeah, I feel like that doesn't get talked about enough. How similar the shows are. And I remember my family's the weird family where we kind of watch both. Now that I'm older, I don't touch The Simpsons at all. And I almost feel weird because people are like, oh my God, it's so much better. And I'm like, it's just when The Simpsons were coming up, I was so young. I feel like a lot of jokes went over my head. And Family Guy was kind of at that shock humor, like era of comedy. So as a kid, it was just funny to be like, oh, why did Osama bin Laden not show up to lunch? And you're like, Osama bin Laden. You're like, what? But when you look back at it, like, I definitely think the delivery and the timing of the jokes is funnier in The Simpsons. Funny enough, I did watch Family Guy today, and it was because I was about to take a nap. So,
hey, that's a testament to anything. That's actually funny you say that. I think it's actually it's like a running gag in Family Guy that they copy The Simpsons.
Family Guy?
Yeah, in Family Guy. It's the jokes have come up over the seasons. Like, Simpsons was kind of like the precursor, which it's a fancy way of saying like, the start. They were kind of like the
model,
the first. They were the model. They were the first person to do it, but like have that kind of like adult cartoon show, adult animation. I don't think I've ever watched a full episode of The Simpsons. I've seen a lot of the memes.
We should do it on. We should do it on the stream then.
We should, yeah, we should. And they do. I see a lot of cool clips with like vaporwave music. That's pretty nifty. But yeah, just like you, Tyrone, I remember going over like my friend's house. I'd go to my friend's house down the street, and we'd like watch Family Guy DVDs in his basement. I'm like, it was like the forbidden fruit of like animation as a child. Like, I shouldn't be watching this whole shit. My parents hated both of them. They were kind of like indifferent to The Simpsons because like The Simpsons were just like, they're like, he's not gonna want to watch The Simpsons. But Family Guy was kind of like super friggin' raunchy. It's something we've talked about in the past before on the show. So that was just kind of like, whoa, what the fuck? They're talking about boobs, they're smoking weed, there's a talking dog, and they're driving drunk and stuff. And you're like, it was like mania for us as kids. But I think I definitely do want to go back and watch The Simpsons. I heard the 3 first seasons are the only good ones, and then after that, it just gets kind of mid.
Well,
It's really
I think
good.
what happens is like these shows, once you get established of who they really are, like you fall in love with the characters so much that it doesn't really matter what situation they're put in. You're just like, oh, how does Bart get out of this? Or, oh, what's Lisa gonna do to be super progressive this episode? You know, I
Whereas
was
like
more...
what oh sorry,
no, go ahead.
You go.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, whereas in comparison is like, who is Brian gonna try and sleep with this episode, and how is Stewie gonna try and kill Lois?
right, exactly. Yeah, that whole kill Lois thing was so corny. I'm so glad they stopped doing that. But I was more of a South Park household. And my, like, I know that was like very forbidden, and it's weird because South Park gets kind of tied in sometimes with those shows, but they really aren't anything like that. They're kind of their own thing. You know what I mean?
The South Park Family Guy episode was fantastic with the manatees.
Yeah,
that was good.
All right, Hannah, what's your last pick?
So my last one is Love Actually and Valentine's Day.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
So Valentine's Day is a strange movie because this is a star-studded cast.
It is.
How could they have gone wrong?
I know.
And they did.
Taylor Swift, Bradley Cooper, George Lopez.
If you want me to read, I have a list.
Read that list. I mean, it's crazy
Jessica
how many names
Alba,
in there.
Kathy Bates, Jessica Biel, Bradley Cooper, Jamie Foxx, Patrick Dempsey, Anne Hathaway, Jennifer Gardner, Queen Latifah, Taylor Lautner, Taylor Swift, George Lopez, Emma Roberts, and Julia Roberts.
That's nuts.
George Lopez just seems so out of place.
Totally. What's George Lopez doing in there?
You think, how could they have gone wrong? But they did.
They spent all the money on the cast and not enough on the screenplay.
Happens all the time. The time. That's why I'm a big indie fan too, because I feel like they focus on like the production part before they actually get into like shooting it. Like you don't need these big fancy sets and all that sometimes to tell.
You don't need these big fancy names.
Yeah. But it definitely does its job. It draws you in. There's attractive people in it for, both sides or wherever you identify as, and it's just it's very cliche narratives and stereotypes of Valentine's.
Well, the thing is that around February, most people aren't like the January-February period in like cinema is like usually dead. Like there's no good movies that come out around those times. Like if you like, I don't know, maybe going forward at this rate, but if you see a movie coming out in January, probably don't watch it. It's usually trash. But it makes sense for like them to want to get people into theaters and like, oh, how are we going to get couples to want to see a movie? Put a bunch of people they know in it. So
right. And what about Love Actually? That's another one that has a lot of big names too.
Yeah, Love Actually is, I think, a more prestigious film.
Yes.
And actually maybe a good film.
Yeah.
But it drove me insane as a kid.
Oh my God, I know.
Yeah, but they're both the same movie in that they're following these different love stories, and just different aspects of love, I guess, like friendship love, when you're a kid, breakups.
Yeah. It's got a nice range of like what love means and romance. But you're right.
This is love actually is.
This is another one that I would get confused with, and I was like, I think I've seen that, but I haven't. Like, I think I've seen Valentine's Day once, and I've seen Love Actually a bunch of times, but I would get them really confused. Which was the better one for you?
Definitely Love Actually. I hated it as a kid, but I have definitely come to appreciate it.
Yeah,
there you go.
There were some moments and it was frustrating, and I think they almost do that on purpose, where it's like, come on, make it work, but then they just can't click, And Matt, which did you hear more about, just in the
Love Actually, 100%. That scene with the guy from The Walking Dead, that's the only thing I know him from, where he's holding the cards
Oh my
Oh
god,
right, yeah, it's
yeah.
right on there on the
Yeah.
DVD. I'll put that on the
Yeah, that's a classic. And like Carly mentioned it, Carly and the K mentioned it with the chat. It's usually more seen as like a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
So it kind of like the holiday love, like Hallmark Channel, but before Hallmark Channel.
Mhm.
So for sure.
Matt, do you want to go do yours, or should I do mine?
Yeah, we can
next?
do mine. Mine
Okay.
are pretty quick.
Okay.
You guys might remember this one. These
Mhm.
two came out of back when we were in high school.
Yeah. 2010s.
Olympus Has Fallen and
Mm.
White House Down. These movies literally came out the same year.
So
And it's
weird.
both about, what do you think? It's about some paramilitary force attacking the White House. And strangely enough, it's about both of the presidents are played by very well-known black actors.
Mhm.
White House Down being Jamie Foxx and Olympus Has Fallen being Morgan Freeman. That was during the Obama era, so I guess they were trying to like make it relatively
Yeah.
consistent.
Right.
But it's the same kind of thing where it's like, oh shit, the White House, the most secure place in like government building in like the on Earth,
Yeah.
is just being attacked. And it was interesting because Olympus Has Fallen was seen as more of like a serious action film, where like White House Down is more of kind of like that kind of crazy 80s action. Like it's Channing Tatum. Usually most
Yeah.
of what he's in has like a flair of comedy. Same goes with Jamie Foxx.
Takes his shirt off.
But yeah, for sure. They came out around the same time,
yeah.
which was like really weird because it was just it was kind of like they shared the screenplay or something around that time. But I think
that's
it's
something I noticed real quick. That's something I noticed too about Hannah's picks as well, that they came out at the same year or around the same time as well.
It's strange, and but I think it's pretty much like universally known that Olympus Has Fallen is the better of the two, and Olympus Has Fallen ended up becoming a trilogy, oddly enough, which is kind of interesting. But there was good things to say about it. That was kind of a period in which action movies really weren't popping off that much.
Yeah.
But for my next two,
wait, Hannah, which of those two, White House Down or Olympus Has Fallen, which did you hear more about?
Definitely White House Down. I haven't seen either of them.
Same.
When did they come out?
Olympus
2012, I want to say.
Olympus Has Fallen came out in 2013. And White House, which would have been the second Obama term, and White House Down came out in 2013.
It seems like propaganda, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, after Obama wins, suddenly the White House gets attacked. And like, oh,
exactly.
Yeah. Well, you know what's funny you say that is I remember thinking, like, okay, they've never really done this like black man as president thing, and all of a sudden we're doing it now, and the White House gets attacked, and I was like, I don't know about that. But then I was just—it's one of those things that sits in the back of your head, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, I heard more about White House Down at the time, and I think it's because Jamie Foxx is just a big name and Channing Tatum. But I saw Olympus Has Fallen, and I don't remember much of it, so that says a lot.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think it fell in the end. I think they saved it, so it's a good point.
Okay.
But for transitioning to my next two picks, funny you say that. Deep Impact came out in 1998, and Morgan Freeman was also the president in that movie too. So they were kind of a trailblazer in terms of black presidents in media. So shout out to them. But Armageddon and Deep Impact, they both came out around the same time. Everyone's seen Armageddon. I don't think anyone's seen Deep Impact, but it's another story of like, oh shit, a giant asteroid is coming down to Earth and we're fucked. Like, what are we gonna do?
I actually haven't seen Armageddon. But I know of it because both these movies came out in 1998. But I know about it because of that Aerosmith song.
Yeah. Oh, shit, for real.
It's like, don't wanna close my eyes.
True. That's a big one.
Don't wanna fall asleep 'cause I miss you, babe.
Beautiful.
Armageddon was one of the huge blockbuster films in the 90s, one of Michael Bay's like first takeoff films.
Oh, Michael Bay. Didn't know that.
Obviously, you got Bruce Willis, Ben Affleck. That was one of his first his big breakout roles on the Hollywood sphere. From Boston, guy. You know you like them apples, my guy. But that was like the difference in the Which is funny is that they're both the same in the sense of like an asteroid is hitting the Earth, but like Deep Impact is more of like the political and like the moral ramifications of like the world potentially ending and everybody being like, oh fuck, this is terrible, like what are we gonna do? And then Armageddon's like, let's just send a bunch of fucking oil riggers into space on this goddamn asteroid and have them fucking drill through it. And I'm like, what? But Bruce Willis is in it, so you're like, okay, you shrug your shoulders, you're like, let's see how this goes. So if you haven't seen Armageddon, it plays on TNT at 3 p.m. on Saturday, literally every week on the dot. So just like leave your TV running. But Deep Impact, I've always wanted to see it, but it's one of those things where like one had more hype than the other, so kind of like
Beautiful, Matt. Well said. Well said. All right, let's jump into my picks real quick before we get to a quick break. So I got two just classic, iconic movies here. The first one I'm gonna talk about, even though it's backwards, is Ants in Bug's Life. So Ants in a Bug's Life both came out in 1998, and then you got Happy Feet and Surf's Up. So Happy Feet came out in 2006, and Surf's Up came up in 2007.
Sure.
So Ants, it features the main character is obviously the ants, and it's about these main dudes who don't want to conform to social expectations, and they both fall in love with this like princess ant, and it's like, oh, the dad's like, oh, we don't associate with this filth, these pores, and
classism
and
at
then
its finest.
yeah, it's just this big classist thing, and then they end up kind of like working together and like getting lost, and then they have to like return back to the city and like, oh my god, you saved the princess type of thing. So it's literally the same exact movie. And I remember as a kid being confused because Ants is a bit more raunchy. It's kind of got that Shrek vibe to it. I believe it's DreamWorks.
It is,
yeah, and it's got like a Shrek vibe to it where they make a joke where it's like someone will be like, oh, are you coming? And then the ladybird will be like, am I coming? And you're like, whoa. And it's just,
chill.
I swear to God. And then like as a kid, like that means nothing to you, you know? But there was something in Ants that I thought was inappropriate, and I was like, as a kid, and I was like, this seems a little strange for Disney.
Like, this seems like I've lost my childhood innocence, but I can't tell why.
Right. And then I would watch A Bug's Life, and it was like very like happy go lucky and like, oh, cutesy, and I would get those confused all the friggin' time. I don't know if you guys did.
Ants is literally just A Bug's Life but ugly. Like if we're being honest.
Yeah.
Like the animation style is like, it just goes to show how Pixar was ahead of its time.
I think both of them are really ugly when you really look at it, but it's like, it's weird to me that like you look at A Bug's Life, this graphic that you see the movie poster, that's not what the animation looks like at all for both of them.
Well, it's hard to render it that well for a couple hours.
Yeah, exactly. But it was like an amazing
But even from that photo, like, you know, you see the cast of characters. Like there's a colorful array of like diverse shapes and silhouettes with the characters. Whereas like in Ants, I'm pretty sure they're all like ants. I haven't seen it, but
so they all look like that in Ants. But what I will say is what I did like about Ants, for me, the choice between which do I like more, I think subconsciously A Bug's Life is the reason I like Pixar movies, but I think what I liked about Ants was like seeing these characters in the real world, because they would go walk around and like come across a soda or gum, and contrasting that with A Bug's Life, they never really came across that, and I was like, that would be kind of weird, because wouldn't an ant or a bug like cross trash at some point?
You get a little bit of that.
Like when they're in the circus.
Right, the
circus.
Exactly.
Circus, I think that was one of the best moments in the movie, especially like the freaking mosquitoes like flying.
Yeah, that was
the
best.
It's like, don't do it.
But yeah, so I think obviously the more successful one is A Bug's Life, but I liked Ants more. What about you guys?
Ooh.
I refuse to watch Ants, but I do.
You refuse? Why?
Because exactly what Matt said, it just looks bad. But I do have a running joke that all the Kardashians look like those ants.
So Will is actually saying Ants is a PG-13 movie, which makes sense.
Oh, okay. That's probably why I couldn't see it.
Yeah, no, you should see it though. It's funny.
She still can't see it.
Yeah, I gotta call my mom first.
Talia, I had Ant on VHS. So did I. I had Life, A Bug's Life on like the plastic VHS open. That's like real squeaky, and I used to love like almost like a puzzle piece putting it together. I don't know if you guys remember.
Oh yeah.
How when you close it, it like snapped.
That was goofy.
What about you, Matt? Which of those two?
I've only seen A Bug's Life, and it's been a long time, but I'll watch Ants at some point.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Yeah, I should have watched it this Tuesday, but maybe another time.
The next one is Happy Feet and Surf's Up. So Happy Feet and Surf's Up are each about a penguin who stand out amongst the rest. Happy Feet is about a penguin named Mumble who can't possibly sing like the rest, and therefore he's scolded, but soon finds out that all of his talent went to his feet.
That's awesome.
And while Surf's Up is about an amateur surfer penguin who dreams of winning this surf competition, while all the other penguins his age are like getting ready to exit and mate. They're both kind of strange premises. For me, Happy Feet, no question, is the better of the two.
What?
Oh, do you like Surf's Up more?
Ooh.
Surf's Up is one of my favorite movies.
Oh my god.
Oh, nice. Why do you like Surf's Up more?
Because it's filmed like a reality show, and that is hilarious.
Oh yeah.
But I don't know. Surf's Up is just so goofy and weird, and
yeah.
I don't know. It's one of my favorites.
No, I agree. So I think Surf's Up as a kid was one of those that I watched. I think I watched it on DVD, but that was one of those that I watched like kind of like over and over. Like we go on like a family trip, we put in like little DVD players. I would bring Surf's Up because like you said, it was just goofy. It was kind of reality TV like, but I feel like Happy Feet was the one that got more buzz, and a lot of people liked it more. I liked Happy Feet, but it didn't resonate as much with me, and I don't know. I know it's Carly with the K's, like it's one of her favorite movies.
I do like it. I think it's a beautiful movie.
It is. They're different. They're different, but they're the same.
Yeah, it's visually very pleasing.
It's also visually very slow compared to Surf's Up. Like Surf's Up is very like a lot of things going on, you know?
Yeah.
What do you think, Matt?
I just don't think you can beat Don't Push Me because I'm too close to the edge. That's just a classic. I think I watched like half an hour of Surf's Up in a minivan Uber ride. He like had the little DVD player. It was pretty hype.
That's exactly where you watched that movie.
It's like my kid again. But yeah, so it's Happy Feet for me personally.
You don't watch Surf's Up in a normal location. I tell you that much.
You don't. You don't look for Surf's Up. Surf's Up looks for you.
Exactly. But all right, we're gonna go to a quick commercial break, and we'll come back. Thank you so much, Hannah, for showing up.
Thank you.
If you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, definitely give her a follow. It is at Insta_Han, correct?
Yes, with 3 N's.
With 3 N's, and we really appreciate you for coming on. And
it's fantastic.
We hope you come back. Honestly,
your perspective.
Please, I would love to.
Yeah, it's nice to hear people not have the same opinions. You know, Matt and I sometimes lick each other's buttholes, and it's nice to have you come on and be like, you know what? I don't like that. So
yeah, it's been fun.
Real quick before you go, I'm gonna just say some rapid fire names, and you tell me which one you like more. That are the same. So, Scrubs or Grey's Anatomy?
Grey's.
Matt?
Oh shit.
Scrubs or Grey's Anatomy? Scrubs.
All right. I've seen more.
Gone in 60 Seconds or Fast and the Furious?
Neither.
The Illusionist or the Prestige?
Don't know them.
Hercules and the Legends of Hercules.
What's the difference?
It's the same shit. What?
No, they're two different movies. They're literally two different movies. You'd be surprised.
Hercules, assuming that's the Disney movie.
Hercules, yeah.
Big and 13 Going on 30.
13 going on 30.
13 going on 30. Yeah.
Big is Tom Hanks, and it's literally the same exact movie. There's a movie called The 13th Floor, and then The Matrix.
Matrix.
The Wild or Madagascar?
Madagascar.
Pocahontas or Avatar?
Pocahontas, bro.
That's tough. Pocahontas, though.
Them motherfucking songs, bro. Color of the Wind.
Yes.
Come on, bro.
Friends or How I Met Your Mother?
God, neither.
Yeah, no. I'm breaking the TV. Fuck that shit.
Jobs or Steve Jobs? Steve Jobs is the one I think with
which one is Fassbender in it?
Fassbender, and then Jobs is the one with Ashton Kutcher.
I'm going Steve Jobs.
Yeah, Steve Jobs.
What else do we got here? Is there any other ones? The Walking Dead versus Z Nation.
I'm gonna go Z Nation because they argue too much in The Walking Dead.
All right.
Don't know it.
All right, and then let's see. Despicable Me or Megamind? Megamind's the one with the blue head.
Despicable Me.
I'm going Megamind.
But you hate Despicable Me, right?
I do. But the minions are so cute and funny.
They are cute and funny. And then, all right, two more. After Earth or Oblivion?
Oblivion.
After Earth.
I need to watch After Earth, like, absolutely blasted. I need to. Because it was the worst fucking movie I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, you saw that shit when it came out.
In theaters, and I was just like...
What?
I saw it in theaters, yeah, and I was like... And I was sitting there and I'm like, is this how I kill myself? Not my depression?
This dude actually saw it in before like augmented reality came out. The motherfucker like put the headset on.
I just remember
he sat in one of those balls that like shakes around a bit and shit.
I remember
still couldn't make up for Jaden Smith's acting.
Why was it so bad? Well, because this is how he talked. The Circle Club show, movies and shows that are the same. Black Captain America ? But father, why do we have to go across the land? It's like, why do you have this accent just because you're in the future?
But father, what happened to Earth?
What happened to Earth?
So good.
So good. Yeah, if you like that, that's totally cool. I don't blame you. Grease or Hairspray?
Hairspray.
Hairspray, yeah.
High School Musical or Grease?
High School Musical.
Hey, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
High School Musical,
for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Jimmy Neutron or Timmy Turner?
Jimmy Neutron.
Damn.
I like.
We gotta pick something different for the stream.
I like them both. All right, last one. Babe or Gordy?
Babe.
Yeah, Babe it's too much of a classic.
All right.
Yeah, it's hard to against that.
All right, Hannah, this was fun. Thank you so much for coming on. Honestly,
thanks.
You are a blast, and I hope that you come back. Maybe we can do something. I don't know, LGBTQ related. Maybe we could do something. Smoker related, cannabis
something about
related.
The gays, yeah.
Well, we do have June is coming up. June is Pride Month.
That's right.
It is.
So we could plan something for that.
All right, let's
do it.
Good.
All right, Hannah,
so
thank you so much.
Touch. Please do keep us updated on your modeling endeavors.
Yes.
We would love to hear how everything's going.
And everyone else will be right back. Give us 30 seconds.
Yes, sir.
They made a mess every single where. Every single where.
It's so
every
true.
Place they go, they make a mess. Even at the beginning, they blew up a whole building,
town.
and one of the bad guys even got away.
Exactly, and who's gonna clean that up is the question. Like
definitely not the government.
Definitely the government.
They made a mess every single. They made a mess every single where. Every single where.
It's so
every
true.
Place they go, they make a mess. Even at the beginning, they blew up a whole building.
Town.
Here we go. All right, everyone. All right. We're back. Oh, who is that? 1 second. Seems that Hannah's still on the screen for some reason, which is a bit strange.
What?
Why is Hannah on the screen when we have Drum roll, please. Kevin Hart the Kid, he's back. He's back. What's
good?
up,
By
Kevin Hart the
popular
Kid, man?
demand.
How you doing? How's everything?
Good.
How's school been?
Good. I just started in person.
Oh, for real?
Wow. You back in
Damn.
school?
What's that looking like?
Yeah, how is it to be back in school?
Good. We leave school earlier now, so.
Hey, shit. That sounds great.
Man, living the life. So why don't we just jump right into it, guys? So we're going to talk a little bit of Captain America and the Winter Soldier. I mean, in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I should have said Captain America. Have you seen it yet, Jalen?
Yeah, I've been watching it. I'm waiting for episode 6.
I can't wait, man.
For sure.
I can't wait. What do you think?
Comes out tomorrow, baby.
Yes.
For those in the chat, if you have not seen it yet, you probably want to mute us from this point on. We will be talking spoilers.
We will be. But you know what? I'll say, even though we're talking spoilers, if you haven't seen it, I think you will still enjoy it, and you should just watch it.
That's fair.
You know, I'm starting to change my tune a little bit about spoilers. I feel like even if something's spoiled, you can still enjoy it because the journey of how you get there. You know.
That's fair.
So, but if you have to, you know, we totally understand if you gotta go. So off the bat, Jalen, what are you thinking about Falcon and the Winter Soldier? You like it more than WandaVision?
Yeah, I like it way better because Falcon, I always liked him, and the Winter Soldier, we got introduced to him in Civil War and Infinity War and Endgame. So.
Yeah, and I thought like I didn't know a lot about him. Like he was kind of always there, but not fully. But now I feel like I'm like, oh, he's from New Orleans. You know, this is his sister. We got this background.
Yeah. His relationship with his sister, I love. Their chemistry is fantastic.
Yeah, and Anthony Mackie, who plays Falcon, is actually from New Orleans, so
That's awesome.
It makes sense why I think he must have I don't know if that's the character's where his origin is from, but I think they must have let him bring that with him with the character, which is why he kind of connects more to the material, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
What are you thinking, Matt?
I'm thinking, I still like WandaVision. I still hold it near and dear to my heart. The first 2 episodes of Falcon Winter Soldier, they had a little intrigue, but it didn't really pull me in. But from episode 3 to 5 was just the whole time. And to your point, I think seeing Sam Wilson, we've seen him as a side character, where he's just kind of in there to give quips and he'll have a scene here and there.
Yeah.
But him being kind of the emotional center, kind of being the heart of this show, I think is really done a lot for the character. We'll go into more depth, but the scene he has with the antagonist Carly, where he sits down with her, speaking with her at the funeral, and what he says to Bucky, as well as Chris Walker and some of the other, or I think that's the guy's name, and some of the other people they come across, him being kind of he is kind of taking on that moral responsibility that we saw Steve Rogers do a lot in the MCU.
Yeah, so Captain America's always been we have to be the good guy, we have to go about it the good